Hello everyone, I'm Coyote Jack, and well, I wasn't aware that this shit was even a thing. So Google officially ends support for Steam on Chromebooks. Oh, so you had one of those pet projects that died once again. Man, this is I think this one is even worse, or is at least at the same level as Google Stadia for a reason. So it means that these fuckers cannot even do something right in their lives. So let's see. From Chrome Unbox, I remember the initial excitement like it was yesterday. The idea of having a native Steam client on Chrome OS, codenamed Borealis, was a bold, ambitious, and incredible exciting prospect. I promised to bring a legitimate high-end PC gaming experience to Chromebooks in a weird, in a way we will never seen before. But today, the era of the experiment is officially coming to a close. So I remember even when one guy showed me one of his Chromebook. I remember it was not shit. Even imagine this: you buy a hardware from Google with their own OS for PC, Chrome OS. You open Google Chrome and you start seeing that shit burning because the memory RAM consumption it's laughable. Even when you were searching on the fucking engine from all the things. So meanwhile you have Steam itself saying, we are making a Steam OS. Yeah, I know Steam has many flaws even when it comes right now with the case of censorship, but I still want them to release that one. I want them to have a full complete version of that Linux system because even with that one, we can ditch Windows 10 and 11 entirely for the most part. I know with 10, no, but yeah, 11, yeah, that dog shit, and even I have it on a gaming PC. Still, I keep mentioning that she is still taking a lot and lots of resources. So let's continue. Google is now beginning to show a message to users informing them that as of January 1st of the next year, Steam on Chromebook will be discontinued. And while a small part of me is at the bummer to see it go, the realistic part of me completely understands why. The truth is, it just makes sense for those resources to go elsewhere. And that Google is just cutting off costs, but it's, it's just hilarious to see. So, a great idea that never quite found its footing. So, the core problem with Steam on Chromebooks was never the idea, it was the hardware. No shit, and that's why, and seriously, even if you give the possibility to develop that one on that OS, you have already pirate versions of Windows 10 for selling the 7Cs. Nobody gives a fuck about that one. Second off, you have Linux, and like I mentioned, SteamOS is getting the attention. They want people from many sides of the perspective of PC gaming wants that one to be successful and be in a stable version as much as possible so everyone can jump ship, primarily because Windows 11 by default is jumping you on buying new hardware with new specs, and still that shit is not enough because all of that fucking spyware takes so many resources. Even I heard the fan of that laptop going extra high, especially when I just opening the Chrome browser or Brave browser in just one tab, or just that thing straight just block, but because all of these updates, it's taking a lot of resources, and yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, nobody's liking that one. And we mentioned in Windows, despite this is about Chrome OS. This is the thing. Nobody remembers Chrome OS. For the most part, elites, they were just jumping on this. Only because, oh, so Google owned hardware. Well, I bet if that version of Linux is possible, Yeah, they don't you think they would rather have that one? I think they will say, yeah, no, I would rather have SteamOS or Ubuntu Linux. I'm sick of tired of dealing with ChromeOS. Even though there is someone willing to say that because there are many people, right? Because of this, the user base of Steam on Chromebook was always going to be incredibly small. It was a fantastic endeavor for enthusiasts, but I wondered that very few people were actually using it on a daily basis. And you know what is being used more? Is fucking the Android. It's the smartphones are used for gaming for the most part, even without Steam. You can have hentai games on your smartphone. You can have emulated games from PSP, PS2, GameCube, on a medium specs smartphones or a high-end smartphone. Yeah, you can emulate lots of stuff nowadays, and you have gaming there. But what Chrome OS for all of these PCs, yeah, it's like selling fucking Intel Celeron processor and say, yeah, we are going to make sure gaming is here. Just fucking what? And yeah, the rise of cloud gaming, yeah, this one is still in depending because we saw how well Google fucked her up. So this guy mentions that Nvidia GeForce Now could be an option for those that really want to do gaming on Chrome OS. I will sell to that people. Nah, tell them to go fuck themselves. Find buy real hardware, seriously. Buy real hardware if you can. Or even buying a better smartphone is buying hardware. Is better hardware even than Chrome OS. Those Chromebooks, they're not going to do you any favor. So, and look at the comments. My son plays a couple of Steam games on his Acer Chromebook Plus almost every day, and I was about to start a tier. Now we'll have to figure out how we can play them. Buy a real PC, man. uh, get an old one with Windows 10. Problem fucking solved. That's why you should never ditch your older hardware because of cases like this. And even though you were using Steam to play and Steam's telling you to go fuck yourself, well, at this point, well, if buying isn't ownership, pirating is not stealing it. In fact, I already gave them my money, so I just going to sell the 7 Cs. And it's perfect value in this case. I think it's time to junction from Chromebooks. I gain using Steam on my Chromebook all the time. What a degenerate, man. And my internet speeds are not fast enough for cloud gaming, nor do I want to pay for a subscription. Sick and tired of Google sunsetting projects. Well, this is one of the chopping block. Honestly, I don't know who could do gaming on these ones with this OS that it has little to no support. Open source OS software like Linux have better support because yeah, what drives them is having an alternative from all of these corporations. So oh yeah, dog shit corporation that really ruins the stuff they touch. Even here in YouTube, we can see the example of that, telling us, oh yeah, we created this OS. Please give us support. No, no, go fuck yourself. Yeah, even for Steam, they are just doing it correctly. They just grab a distribution of Linux and they are just turning it in a gaming platform. And I have seen people playing older games that one. People that, yeah, excuse me, games that people could then run even on modern Windows OS or like 8 or 10. They can play it and yeah, they're patching it up, and by the time that new OS is arriving in a full stable phone, yeah, the at this point, yeah, given Chromebook and it's just going to be dead. And second of Microsoft, they are going to pull their head out of their asses when they see the vast majority of people are not buying hardware. When all of those PC manufacturers that are selling you all of these hardware with the premise of selling you Windows 11 moving forward. They are not selling because even older hardware. Yeah, no, you know what? I'm gaming on Linux, and even I having access to my platforms, my favorite platforms. This is going to be terrible. Well, another one that dies from Google. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and please take care.